Welcome back to our series on the history of the mint julep. My name is Brian Cushing. I'm the Program Director at Locust Grove. And today we have departed the 1840s and we have made it all the way to 1857. Now, I have to give credit one more time to Mr. David Wondrich, the great cocktail writer himself. He brought to light this recipe from 1857. It was published in Harper's Monthly as a part of a serialized story called A Winter in the South. And if you ever get to dig into one of these old issues of Harper's, they are just great windows into the times that they were published in. This, like the original julep, was presented humorously as a prescription, this time by Quackenboss MD, to be repeated 3 or 4 times a day until cold weather. So, what you're going to need is some white granulated sugar, some room temperature water, number of sprigs of mint here. We're back to cognac, calls for cognac, and we're just keeping it basic. We're going with Hennessy, and we're also going to use a little bit of rye whiskey. This is Redemption Rye. It's affordable, and I find it to be very tasty. But you can use whatever sort of rye you like. And of course, we're going to have some very finely crushed ice. So it starts out pretty basic. We're going to dissolve sugar in water. Now, the original recipe called for 2 ounces of sugar. That's 4 tablespoons, and that's a lot of sugar. David Wondrich, he felt like that was a bit too much, and he suggested backing it off to 1/2 ounce, which is just a tablespoon, and I very much agree with him. So ordinarily, I like to stick pretty close to the documentation, but that's what we're going to do today. So we got a tablespoon of sugar. The recipe says to use as much water as you need, and so we're going to make our job easy here and use 2 tablespoons of water. And we will just mix this to dissolve. Now, I've taken the leaves off of one of the mint sprigs, and we are just going to crush those. Add them to the mixture of sugar and water, and mix. Now with your crushed ice, mostly fill but not quite the cup. Then we're going to pour 1.5 ounces of cognac over the ice. It just so happens that these Locust Grove shot glasses that you can get in our museum store measure exactly 1.5 ounces. Very convenient for this. And then you're going to want just 1/2 ounce of your rye whiskey. And that's 1 tablespoon. And then we're just going to give that a quick mix. At this point, if your ice has shrunk down quite a bit from all that, you can add some more. It has not in this case. There are 2 sprigs of mint. I'm going to rub those between my hand a bit to start to release their scent. Plant those in the glass. Put our straw in. Snip it off so your nose is right by the mint. And there you have it, the 1857 prescription mint julep from Harper's Monthly. I'm back here with Amy Liebert today, my always willing julep taster, and let's see how 1857 tasted.
Ooh, I'm excited. Oh, that's lovely.
That's
delightful. That's a good one.
I would not have thought of putting rye and cognac together, but they really balance each other out nicely.
They do. I'm starting to wonder if mint isn't like the perfect ingredient that just makes all of the things balance and blend. And
the sugar, too.
Yes.
This one is pretty sugary, but I'm glad that we took that sugar way down because 4 tablespoons would have been a bit much. I'll tell you, the funny thing is, I was realizing as we were doing this, is the first video we did, I said that everybody who does a mint julep thinks they do a mint julep the best, you know? And so I was pretty confident about that too. And every one of these I read, I was afraid I was going to be disappointed. But it's not been the case.
We've never been disappointed. I honestly think mint juleps are like pizza. You know, even when they're bad, they're good. I mean,
right.
I know a lot of people like to get snobby about the stuff at Churchill Downs or whatever. It's mint julep. It's delicious. But some of these have been especially good.
Right, yeah.
You know, and I think that having the sugar, one of the commonalities in a lot of these recipes we've loved is it's sugar, not simple syrup.
That's true. And like you can substitute simple syrup. You're absolutely dead set on it. But honestly, I highly recommend you just try dissolving the actual sugar in the water. It takes an extra second and it really does make a difference.
It really seems to. And again, like if you use the simple syrup, it's still a mint julep. It's still great.
Yeah.
But these are all some special.
Right. I agree. So, once again, not bourbon. We do at least have a little whiskey in here. So the next time we rejoin you again, we'll be all the way into the 1860s. We're just taking this little stop in the 1850s from Harper's Monthly, and also don't forget to check out David Wondrich's Imbibe. Just a great tome of resources here that are fun to explore. So, here's to you, and we will see you next time.